Welcome to Yoga Marketer, the podcast for yoga teachers everywhere. Now you're a part of a small group of yoga teachers trying to change the world by sharing your passion for yoga. We do this by learning how to market your yoga business, but because this important topic was left out of your yoga teacher training, we have to learn it, live it, and share it. In this podcast, we will give you a glimpse of how to market your yoga business. Welcome back to Yoga Marketer. This is Rafael Arce, and today we're going to talk about new students. What does that mean? How do you work it, and how do you benefit from it? Well, new students are the wave of what grows your yoga business. Most of the times they're just new to your tribe. They're new to your concept, to your idea of your journey with your yoga business, where you take them, whether that's just at home practice, or if that's a studio practice, if that's just meditation, if that's all, to travel the world with you with yoga retreats, or that's taking someone that was a new member and now is a student and now would like to evolve into a yoga teacher. There's many different aspects of it, but the point of entry is always different. For new members, sometimes they come in through a free class pass or a 30-day trial or a 2-week trial. This is the time to wow your new students, especially if you have a retail yoga studio. If you have a retail yoga studio, there's a great way to impact the wow effect that you give on them. And the first one is called indoctrinating them into your belief and how do you believe, what to do, what not to do. Especially if you're trying to figure out if they are new to yoga, if they're advanced, there might be some concepts that they're not used to. For example, yoga etiquette. Most of them don't understand that they can't get up in the middle of class or showing up late. I've been to many different studios in the West Coast and the East Coast, and all of them have different rules. Some don't care if you come in late, and some are very strict. They want to hold a space. If everyone shows up on time, then you should show up on time. And they have very strict beliefs around that. So do I have my own, but the best way to do this, even if you are just signing someone up for your free trial online or in studio, have an indoctrination series. In the first mail correspondence, or if you're not sending them to direct mail, if you're sending them an email, the first piece of information that you should send out to them is yoga etiquette, because that'll give them an eye-opening to what to expect in your studio or in your space, wherever that may be, online or offline. And that could be as simple as hygiene, etiquette to get up and use the restroom during the class, waiting till after Shavasana to get up and start picking up their items, not bringing their shoes in the studio floor. I mean, so many small little details that may seem like they're normal to us, it may not be to them. So it's a very good time to start that with them. So once you have the indoctrination of what's to expect, the next thing you should send out is a couple things. You can do this for the next week, is send them out something, whether it's related to your studio or practicing safe yoga as well. What is safe yoga? A lot of yoga teachers will just take their yoga teacher training and start teaching right away. Well, there's a lot of transitions that are safe and they're not safe. So if you have a belief around safe yoga, this is a good time to put that into a writing and send it out to them. They'll appreciate the communication. They'll understand your culture and what it means to be in your space. So if you're going to hold a space for them, make sure they're practicing safe yoga. Make sure that they know your rules of being in your space. That will set the tone for whether they liked the experience at the yoga studio or not. I would suggest to do a 30-day follow-up. Now, when you have new students enter your space, sometimes you can follow up with them with 7 days. But the trial that has worked time and time again has been a 30-day trial, because it gives them enough time in their busy schedule, whether it's logging in online and taking a class or going into your yoga studio. It takes time. So sometimes giving them a 7-day trial or 2-week trial, I know that for some of you, a 2-week trial, say, okay, that's enough. You've had enough time. But the reality is, you're a consumer as well. Put yourself in their shoes and know how busy you are sometimes for those that are married, have kids, have a whole life, that sometimes it's not so easy to get into yoga, and you would love to try out all the classes and all the teachers, but just time doesn't permit. So giving them a 30-day offer is very helpful, and nurturing that relationship during those first 30 days is very imperative as well. So sending them an indoctrination sequence, that's what it's called, or it's like a welcome email. But not just stopping there, just making sure that you're also giving them advice, or walking them through their practice and know what's offered at your studio. One of the helpful items that has helped our studio is having 2 classes a month. One is just for beginners looking to advance a little bit more, and then those are much more advanced students that are looking to grow their practice when time doesn't permit in between classes because they're too close together. We've given the students an opportunity to come in once a month and work on that with an instructor or a teacher. There's many of opportunities to help out new students and making sure that they are getting what they need when they come into your space. So when it comes to new students, obtaining them costs a lot more than retaining them. I'll say that again. Obtaining a new student costs you way more in marketing dollars and effort and energy than it is to maintain one. So there's a lot of opportunity in just once you obtain one, you nurture that relationship and then walk them through their journey, because maybe they'll experience that they didn't like any of your teachers or any of the styles, or something bothered them, and that's okay. That's okay, because they still paid a small fee, and then you can get some feedback at the end. I highly recommend at the end of the trial is to push a small survey to give you some feedback on the instructor. The times are imperative because every working community is different. Sometimes the hours fluctuate of when is a peak time for you to host your classes or not. And no one is better than the new students, because they are going to be there either for 30 days or they're going to be there for 30 months. It really depends on your communication with them. So the number one thing is to make sure you indoctrinate them, nurture that relationship for the first 30 days, and at the very end, if they stay or not, at least offer them an opportunity to voice their opinion about their experience with you. And I think this is mandatory. Why? Because some of it is not going to be okay, and it's okay. It's not going to all be good and positive experiences. It's going to be some improvements, and there's no one else that's going to tell you but the new students, because they don't know you. They're not going to feel bad if they say something or recommend that you change something. It's a very good opportunity for you to do that. So with new students, make sure that when you obtain them, know that they are very valuable, nurture that relationship for the first 30 days, and then at the end, offer them an outlet for them to give you a review, to give you a survey and what they thought. And this will give you an opportunity to adjust and not be so attached to your style of yoga or the classes that you hold and try to force it to make it work. If it's not working, it's not working. The numbers will show. You have to treat it like a business, not so much on the yoga side. I know that sometimes we get attached to what we build, but it doesn't mean that that's what's going to last. We have to make sure that we keep adapting, and your community and your new students are the ones that are going to dictate that. We're just here to hold a space for them. It's really what they are craving and wanting, and we're just here to nurture that journey that they're in when it comes to their yoga practice. So hopefully this information has helped you. It's very valuable. If you want to know a little bit more, make sure you're heading over to yogatribe.co. That's yogatribe.co. It's our free private community where we all gather and share some of our yoga business ideas and what's working and what's not. It's a great way for you to interact with others as well. So make sure you head on over to yogatribe.co and request to get into the group. Once you do, you'll be able to introduce yourself and interact. Until then, We'll talk to you on the next episode.